In the center of Utrecht, on Domplein Square, behind the Dom Church, stands Utrecht University Hall. An intersection between academia, culture and history that has been pivotal to the development of the university, the city of Utrecht and the Netherlands as a nation. In 1462, the great chapter house was built next to the Dom Church as a meeting place for chapters of Utrecht, a religious community. That building is the oldest part of Utrecht University Hall. Nowadays, it is used as an auditorium. During the Spanish occupation, this was where several Dutch district representatives signed the Union of Utrecht. That moment is considered by many to be the birth of the Dutch state. In 1634, the great chapter house was gifted by the city of Utrecht to the Illustere School, an institute for higher education. 2 years later, in 1636, the Illustere School was granted city university status by the provincial authorities. To celebrate Utrecht University's 250th anniversary, the city of Utrecht decided to construct a new building, Utrecht University Hall. After a years-long battle between the architect and the government engineer over the selected style, it was eventually decided to build Utrecht University Hall in the far corner of the Dom Square, so that its neo-Renaissance style would not clash with that of the Gothic Cathedral. On June 10, 1892, the then 11-year-old Princess Wilhelmina placed the keystone above the entrance. 2 years later, ownership of the building was transferred to the academic community. The interior of the building was decorated using donations from both the community and alumni. This glass-stained window depicts the personification of the city of Utrecht, presenting Utrecht University Hall to the university. This is a ceiling mural in which Pallas Athena, goddess of wisdom, is surrounded by 5 women symbolizing the former faculties. The walls of the Senate Hall are hung with portraits of professors who played important parts in the university's history. These include Nicolaas Beets and Johanna Westerdijk, the latter of whom became the first female Dutch professor in 1916. Her portrait hangs just above the small door that the professors must use to leave the Senate Hall in order to confer during PhD ceremonies. This means that many professors, most of whom are still men, must regularly bow before Johanna Westerdijk. The university celebrated its 300th anniversary in 1936. Alumni gifted wall tapestries to be hung in the auditorium of Utrecht University Hall. The side tapestries are representative of the era, and the large one at the back depicts the Union of Utrecht. The auditorium was also fitted with stained glass windows depicting virtues and vices. The Hungaris Peregrinus plaque commemorates an 18th century foundation that enabled hundreds of Hungarian theology students to study in Utrecht. During the Second World War, the German occupiers planned to transport Utrecht students to Germany to perform forced labor. To prevent this from happening, members of the Utrecht student resistance movement set fire to all the student records kept in Utrecht University Hall. The partially melted statue of Hermes in the corridor on the ground floor serves as a reminder of this fire. After the Second World War, the purpose of University Hall changed drastically. All administrative and teaching activities were moved elsewhere. Nowadays, Utrecht University Hall is mainly used for the university's academic ceremonies, such as PhD defenses and awards, inaugural lectures, graduations, the Dies Natalis, and the opening of the academic year. In 1960, alumni donated a Hinz organ to Utrecht University Hall. An organ loft was added to the auditorium and decorated with 8 crests that once hung in the former chapter hall. The Hall of 1636 is named after the university's founding year. The top of the mantelpiece shows the mayors of Utrecht who helped the Illustere School achieve university status. The hall also has a wall dedicated to portraits of female professors to celebrate 100 years of female professorship since Johanna Westerdijk. There is also the Faculty Club, a vibrant society that promotes encounters, reflections and exchanges of all kinds. The halls and rooms in Utrecht University Hall serve as venues for receptions, conferences, board meetings and other gatherings. Many are named after professors or administrators who have played an important role in the university's history. With 200,000 visitors per year, Utrecht University Hall is more than just a city monument. It is the ceremonial and representative heart of Utrecht University.